today, lovelies?
From Liverpool Lime Street and Manchester Piccadilly
Saturday night, Piccadilly.
to the smallest stations, the railway is a lifeline for the north of England.
Customer satisfaction, that's our destination.
But the system is under pressure as never before.
We've got a Leeds service cancelled, a Liverpool service cancelled, and a Piccadilly service cancelled.
And staff are in the firing line.
Move a bit more down for me, please, so I can get everyone on. Let me get on!
What's the worst thing that can happen? He punches. It's happened before, it'll happen again.
I sack everyone from top to bottom. It's a complete waste of time.
Now, cameras have been allowed behind the scenes. At the company that runs some of the busiest and most crowded trains in Britain, TransPennine Express.
Guys, just stay there for me.
Keep your head stuck.
It's not sponsored.
Filmed during a make-or-break year,
We are expanding our fleet by over 60%. For TransPennine, this is the biggest thing we've ever done.
It's gonna go right. It's got to. Has to.
this is the inside story of what it really takes to run a railway.
Just with the weather, and nothing at all is moving like Piccadilly.
I can confirm the 2 children are on the tracks at the minute.
And get the North back on track.
We'll deliver for the North.
This time,
Yes.
just as the railway seems to be running smoothly at last,
Quite impressed. Successful, tick, tick, tick.
the network is plunged into the biggest crisis in its history.
We're looking down the barrel of a gun. It's really quite scary.
As coronavirus takes hold, staff are on the front line.
We come into contact with thousands of people every single day. Everyone on board are at risk.
And the company faces an uncertain future.
We move 30 million people a year. We can't just shut up shop and stop.
It's the beginning of March. And with the introduction of TransPennine Express's new high-tech fleet of trains, more people than ever are using their services.
Fabulous. So much more room, so much quieter. I thought, wow, am I on the right train?
38 of the 44-strong fleet have already been rolled out. And at Manchester Airport, Group Station Manager Billy Vickers has seen the positive impact they've had.
Customers really like the new trains, you can see that. Loads of space, nice and bright, big windows. And it's going to leave here in 2 minutes and get them to Leeds or York. Fantastic. Everyone's on the computers and on the laptops. And there's me, with a phone that doesn't work.
It's not just customers who are enjoying the brand new trains.
There's a noticeable lift in the staff's morale and how they approach the work. Making rail travel in the north the best it can possibly be.
The network has invested £500 million in their new fleet. And after 4 years, project manager Chris Massey is putting one of the final state-of-the-art Nova 3s through its paces.
Today is what's known as a fault-free run. It's a process that we go through to try and exercise the train as much as possible, as it would be used in passenger service, to tease out any hidden faults.
This train alone cost over £10 million, so they need to make sure it's all systems go before it carries its first passengers.
We're going to be going from Manchester all the way up to Carlisle and stopping at some simulated station stops. It's actually the manufacturer's staff who do the actual tests, and we just observe to make sure that it goes well.
Engineer Joe Morton is helping Chris check every inch of the train.
So basically I'm just doing a walkthrough at the moment, just checking the toilet doors, making sure the toilet systems are working, flushing. When you're walking through the train, things will just catch your eye, and like just that, for example, I've just noticed that there's actually a light missing. I've just made a note of that, so that can be fed back to the manufacturers to put right. Obviously, things we're checking for in here really is obviously CCTV screens. So obviously you've got different cameras in different areas. The cameras seem to be aligned pretty well. Yes, so obviously this is the catering area. We're just obviously checking that the microwave's open and their magnet keeps them open like that. Obviously these can get quite hot, so they've got these protective covers on them for the catering staff. It's just to make sure that not only the passengers have a good experience, but the people that work on them as well.
But even when you've spent millions, not everything is perfect.
Door U's not working. I found a couple of issues with the intercom doors not opening correctly.
We don't want to see interior doors juddering or sticking. That could cause panic to a passenger that wants to get off the train. They are things that we definitely want fixing before we accept the train.
The new 5-car trains are longer than some of the platforms they'll be stopping at.
If we were to send that train to a platform that's too short for the train, we want to make sure that only the doors on the platform release. So we're very meticulous on the checks on that system.
Opening the wrong doors could be dangerous, so it's crucial the onboard computer isolates the correct set.
That looks good. Quite impressed.
Successful, tick, tick, tick.
After 4 years of living and breathing it, the feedback from passengers so far has been really, really positive. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours, but absolutely worth it. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I really would. See you guys. Thanks very much. See ya. Come on, Josephine, let's walk together.
Every new train that gets the green light from Chris should help provide a more reliable service. Which can only be good news for all at the network's nerve centre on the outskirts of Manchester.
What am I doing? Where am I going? I lost the plot.
Duty Control Manager Anne Smith is facing an array of problems.
Been busy, normal chaos, yeah. Infrastructure faults, driver issues, fleet issues. Yeah, busy.
Recurring problems with rolling stock keeps Anne and her team on their toes.
Maintenance controller to speak.
Maintenance controller Russell Curtis Shaw has been alerted to a fault with the Class 350 electric train just outside Preston.
What's the actual fault? It's the compressor.
Compressor MCB is tripping. It has had compressor issues previously, so it's come to a grinding halt just outside the station.
Okay, right.
The compressor provides air to the train's doors and brakes, and if it fails, the train can't run. This one's on its way to Edinburgh and could block the West Coast Main Line, one of the busiest rail routes in Europe.
News like this, you're like, oh my God. So it's a Scotland train, the busy trains. We could have a stranded train in the middle of nowhere, which could take hours to rescue.
After some online research, Russell comes up with a cunning plan.
Switch that to off and switch that back on, and it should be, hopefully, run the compressor again.
The driver is told to reboot.
Yeah. Can you isolate that engine for me at a convenient point?
And after an anxious few minutes...
Just to give you the heads up, everything's okay. All right.
Good stuff.
He's on the move. Excellent. So that compressor's reset then. So we're all right with that.
Don't come round here with news like that again, Ross. That just absolute pains me.
But it's only a quick fix.
It will keep running for now. If we get to the stage where it keeps on tripping out, then the unit will need rescuing.
A disaster has been averted on the West Coast Main Line, but there's worrying news from abroad that could signal a far greater crisis.
The UK Foreign Office has advised against all but essential travel to certain regions in Spain after cases in the country increased by almost 50% in 24 hours.
A mysterious new virus has started to spread from China to Europe. And at Manchester Airport Station, Billy's already aware of the impact.
We've started seeing lots of customers come back from flights early. Some of them are coming home, travelling on the network and then going home to self-isolate. These are people who come from Italy, Spain, Northern Europe, France, and they're coming home in the droves.
We couldn't get on our flight because of coronavirus.
Single?
Yes.
£23.20?
£20?
Yeah.
Jesus. Benidorm's been put on lockdown in the last 3 hours, so we've decided not to get on our flight. So we've now got to find somewhere else to go, basically, which is why we're buying a ticket from Blackpool.
How many are you paying for? 2. £46.40, OK?
Spent a fortune trying to go on holiday.
Yeah.
Trying to enjoy your Hindu before she gets married, and it's just gone upside down.
The coronavirus, it's all been cancelled.
You're heading to Blackpool now, then?
Yeah, so we've ended up in Blackpool.
Have a good time in Blackpool.
Times are changing. It's uncharted territory for us. It's quite concerning because you don't know how this is going to pan out.
At HQ in Manchester, the bosses, led by Operations Director Paul Watson, call an emergency meeting.
The news today says that the rates are escalating, so look at the likelihood of a more difficult situation going forward and how we're going to address that as a business.
There are only 800 cases in the UK for now, but there are fears that many staff could soon be calling in sick.
The maintenance and offer you a train in the morning, have they given us a view of what loss rate they can stand in terms of staff not arriving in the workplace to provide a service? Or
we maybe expect the government guidance to rise to 20% absence levels. They are saying that at that level they would not have the ability to deliver the full range of services.
I do understand there's a lot of concern, particularly people with vulnerable people in the household.
You know, we've got a situation where a conductor has a pre-existing condition, is concerned about the constant, you know, contact through his duties, walking up and down the train, and therefore we have supported him in saying he can stay in the back.
Passenger numbers are falling fast.
There's lots of talk about crowded places. I think most people would treat trains and large train stations as crowded things, so there is a business impact for us.
With fewer travelling, the timetable could be drastically scaled back.
I know Jerry has started to prepare plans for what would a reduced plan look like. Should the worst case scenario start to emerge, then we're at least in the process of drawing up how we react to it.
Quite scary on lots of levels, and you know, bitterly disappointed on others in terms of where we've brought the business in recent weeks and months. And we can see it being snatched away from us as we respond to a global pandemic. We're looking down the barrel of a gun. It's really quite scary.
Coming up.
Right, the fault's redeveloped.
As the team tries to keep services running.
Not ideal at all. I've lost 4 trains. Wait until we tell our director on call now.
The looming pandemic brings new fears for passengers and for staff.
We just don't know what this means for the future of TransPennine Express.
The coronavirus crisis is escalating across Europe, but TransPennine Express is trying to keep trains running as normal. And that includes training 87 would-be conductors like Carl Frayne to crew their new fleet of trains.
I worked for Royal Mail for 28 years and then went to work with my father-in-law doing industrial decorating. I know my way in and out of a toilet. Let's just say I painted about 1,000 toilets.
At 47, he's hoping for a brand new start.
I always fancied it. The railway was like my #1 priority. Get a chance at a new career. You know, this time in my life, it's few and far between, isn't it? So, yeah, got to grasp it with both hands.
After 14 weeks of training, today's the final hurdle, Carl's on-board assessment.
Looking behind, looking forward, opening both doors. A bit nervous, like you are with any test, but, you know, it's something that I prepared quite a bit for. You know, determined to try and make the best of it, get where I wanted to go.
The fate of Carl's new career is in the hands of Jason Ashmore.
You've got to be able to take control, keep calm,
think on your feet and make sure the experience is good for the customer.
Right, Bob.
There's a lot more to the job than just collecting tickets.
How would you go about isolating a door?
Isolate the doors by turning that.
If you're going to lock out a door out of use, who must you inform immediately?
Control.
Yeah. Who else needs to know?
The driver needs to know.
Driver, yeah.
Welcome aboard this Transparent Express train to Glasgow Central. Good. Thanks again for travelling Transparent Express. It's a lot more intense than I thought it'd be. There's a lot more to it. Honest to God, yeah, there's so much to take in. It's unreal.
Carl, what I want you to do at this stop is do the wrist-triggered commentary. So
Okay.
talk me through what's going through your head and what you're actually doing. Okay?
Yep. Check which platform we're approaching. I've already started platform vigilance. Opening local door. Stepping down, 3 points of contact. Signals at aspects showing green. Back on the train. Closing cab door. Continue maintaining platform vigilance. Back and front. DKSO.
That was textbook. That was perfect. I like the way that you were confident. I like the way that you use your whistle. It's a good tool to use. Gets people attention, especially people that are running late or trying to get off. But that was textbook. Do that every time like that. Have no problems whatsoever.
Get in!
It's the news Carl was hoping for.
I finally got there, so it's the end result of quite a lot of hard and intensive training. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Carl can now conduct his own train, but for how long?
Where do we think this takes us, and do we think, in light of where we are, we need to change?
With coronavirus taking hold in Europe, bosses are drawing up battle plans.
We can see what's happening in other countries that are more advanced along the curve, and we probably ought to act to try and stop that happening here.
Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the city,
Redeveloped? Oh, you're kidding.
a more immediate threat to services has raised its ugly head again.
Right, okay. Looks like we're probably going to have to cancel it then. I'll call you back in a short while. I'll just have a quick word with the maintenance controller. Cheers, thanks, bye-bye. Right, the fault's redeveloped. The fault's reoccurred, whatever the fault is.
Right, I need to speak to the train service controller then.
The compressor has tripped on the same Class 350 train as before.
The same thing has happened again.
That's 3 times.
Now 4.
The train has no air to feed its brakes, and this time there's no easy remedy. Maintenance controller Russell must get it shunted to the depot.
We've really got to take it out. It's causing us issues as it is, but it'd be even worse if we don't couple it.
Yeah, get that set up. Get it on Mike 98. Yeah.
The train is on its regular, busy West Coast Main Line route to Edinburgh
Not ideal at all.
and risks blocking all 13 passenger and freight operators using the line.
If we fail, everybody else will be late around us. So the safest thing to do is to get this unit out of service and get it fixed. But now we're about to tell everybody, cases, luggage, that you're going to be turfed off this train. Can you imagine if your mum or your dad was on that train? It's just not nice.
Romeo Charlie 6583.
While replacement buses are laid on for passengers,
If we go for 2, that should be all right, yeah.
So I've lost that. I lost my 98 at Piccadilly.
duty control manager Anne deals with the fallout.
It's Sierra 88. So we've lost 4 trains. Wait until we tell our director on call now that we've lost more. We'll go crazy.
Anne will get the stranded unit shunted here, the Ardwick depot, where the maintenance team work 24/7 servicing trains to try and prevent breakdowns on the tracks. This Class 185 unit is getting the full MOT.
So we've just got the job as a B exam, where it's virtually like a service, like on your normal car. where we're checking all your safety systems and making sure the train's fit for the rail, really. Anything from like the oil changes to the final drives, safety system checks, air conditioning checks, windscreen wipers and the washers. There's lots of checks on them.
It's vital the train isn't out of service for too long, so 12 people work flat out.
You can normally do it in a day. That's like on a 12-hour shift. It's a long day. If it doesn't get back out, we can get a penalty against us, so we can get charged off the network for not producing the train on time.
The differentials that allow wheels on an axle to rotate at different speeds when cornering get a critical oil change.
Must be getting weaker in my old age. If a differential fails, it could be bad. Yeah, you could have a derailment easily. It's exactly the same as an oil change, really, in a car.
But this is more high-tech than at your local garage. This oil gets sent to a lab to be tested for evidence of any mechanical faults.
I'll just check for if there's any metal in it or any bearings what are collapsing. And sometimes we'll get flagged up that there's a problem with one of them. I think really mainly the samples is what's saving failures. I've been working here now nearly 2 years and we've never had one fail. Job done, on for the next one.
The depot's working hard to keep trains on the track, but warnings from the government mean they could soon be in far less demand.
We should stop going to the pub, the theatre and other social events. We should avoid any unnecessary travel or social contacts. We should work from home.
The latest announcement is not good news for the team at HQ in Manchester.
It's pretty drastic. People are stopping travelling because they want to stay safe, so it's quite stark. As we sit here today, we just don't know what this means for the future of TransPennine Express.
We are a very important service to the community. People rely on us to do the jobs. Doctors, nurses, teachers, other train employees, other train company employees, and we do need to keep them able to get to their place of employment.
Keeping passengers and staff safe is TransPennine's #1 priority. Trains get deep cleaned daily, but since the outbreak of the virus, cleaning staff have become the first line of defence against infection.
Just sanitising all the hot spots and killing all the virus. We're doing our bit to try and kill as much of it as we can.
Scott Brannan and his team have only a short time between trains arriving and pulling out again to swab down every surface.
Your tables are obvious, your flush buttons on your toilets, the open and close buttons and all the handrails, we do all that as well because we do have people standing up and holding on to the rails and stuff.
It's a critical job, but Scott could soon be running low on cleaning supplies.
Maybe a month's worth, I'd say, of equipment left to be able to work at the capacity we're working at. So it can be quite scary because what do you do when you run out? We've had a lot of passengers going through the airport as well. But it's scary because it's worldwide. It's not just like you can maybe go and get away from it because anywhere you go, it's there. It's like a zombie apocalypse, isn't it?
Good to go?
Yeah, we're good, love, yeah. Just doing anything we can to prevent it. To be honest, I hope we don't shut down or I'll lose work out of it, so.
Out on the rails,
Welcome and goodbye.
conductor Nikki May is facing a new reality.
Oh, it's extraordinary. Absolutely I've never seen the railway so quiet. I'm at a loss. Good morning, folks. Welcome aboard here at Dewsbury to this, the 11:27 service to Newcastle. Now, folks, we do have 5 toilets on board, all of which have running water at the moment. So please, I know we've got that bug going around. Please do make sure that you wash your hands. We have soap and water available in each of our toilets. Your next stop, Leeds, in less than 10 minutes' time. How do you do, lovely folks? Tickets or passes today, my lovelies? Are you ready? Smile. But I think there is fear that conductors are now passing on the coronavirus. Everybody is healthy and well on TransPennine, and if they're not here. Hello there. I'm still touching tickets, I'm still touching cards, anything that you hand me, of course I'm still going to touch it. Ta-da! Welcome. This is my little box of tricks, so there's my money in here, you see, and right next door is my hand sanitizer. So as soon as I touch anything in here, ta-da! Hello lovely folks, welcome. Darlington, delicious Darlington. Just checking the toilet just to make sure that the running water, everything in the toilet, well, that it's clean. Can't quite eat your dinner off it.
But it's not just the cleanliness Nikki needs to keep an eye on.
At Scarborough, the cleaner had come and put in 2 great big toilet roll dispensers. By Huddersfield, gone. My toilet roll dispenser was barren, it was bare. There was not a single sheet left. Please somebody tell me, what is it about toilet roll?
Next stop is Leeds, normally one of the busiest stations on the line.
Quite unsettling actually how quiet Leeds has become. Gosh, that's extraordinary. That's for you, thanks very much, thank you. This is peak time. I've never known anything like it.
Despite dwindling passenger numbers, Nikki's in it for the long haul.
All I want to do is make people their journey as easy as possible. I want to make sure that the North keeps running. One way or the other, we're going to keep going until the very end. Until such time as TransPennine say to me, Nikki, get off the train, I will be here.
It's mid-March. Passenger numbers are plummeting, but TransPennine staff are still out keeping the railway running.
Tickets past and rail cars from York, please.
Conductor Carl Clinkscales is working the York to Newcastle run this afternoon.
If you just want to swipe it all for me, sir. So with that one, sir, you booked on a 1707. This is a 1607.
This is the same train, TransPennine.
It is, but it's not the same time. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to sell you a new ticket to Darlington.
Take a hike, disappear.
So basically it's booked on the 1707 with an advance purchase ticket and not willing to pay. This is the 1607. To deal with that, I'll probably just tell the station staff that it's booked on a different service, so not to let him out of the station until he's bought a new ticket. But yeah, that's one of the things that you sort of have to deal with. Tickets from Darlington, please.
Dealing with a potential fare dodger is the least of Carl's worries. Of all railway staff, conductors are most at risk.
The fact that we still have to carry out our full duties, going down the train, checking tickets and stuff, it is quite worrying. Because we're frontline staff, we essentially can't get away from it. We come into contact with thousands of people every single day. That's great, thank you. Everyone on board are at risk. It's got a 14-day period of incubation, which you could have it and not know about it. You won't have any symptoms for 14 days, and everybody on this train could now have it. If you could have your tickets, passes, rail cars and relevant documents to be ready, as there is going to be a ticket inspection, then that would be greatly appreciated.
Carl's concerned he could pass the virus on to his loved ones.
My fiancée, who's got type 1 diabetes, she's also been diagnosed with pneumonia before and sepsis. It is frightening, very frightening for them. It's great, thank you, thank you.
It's an unsettling time, and as the train heads back to Manchester, Carl learns that a family member has symptoms. He makes a big decision.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you could just listen to this announcement, this train will be terminating at York today. This is due to a member of train crew taken ill on the train.
Under government guidance, Carl has no choice but to self-isolate immediately.
cash up, go home, and that's it. That's all we can do. I apologise, because obviously it wasn't to be expected, so.
But getting off his train at York means passengers must do as well. Carl's self-isolation mid-shift results in another cancelled train and adds to the mounting problems for Catherine O'Brien and her colleagues at HQ.
It's a real-life issue that's biting us every day, and we've got to do what we can to keep these services running, keep people moving, because clearly we're a lifeline for a lot of people, but also we've got to support our own people in being able to come to work safely and not worry about what else is going on around them, so it's quite a task.
Clearly today will not be a good day for our customers or our colleagues out in the front line, because there will be a number of trains that we can't operate that we've been able to give very little prior warning of. Our core ethos remains the same. It's firstly to keep all our colleagues safe, keep all our customers safe, produce the best customer offer we can in the circumstances. We run 350 trains a day, is our base plan. At the moment we're running circa 300 a day, and that's a reaction to the amount of people that have now self-isolated or gone off with symptoms.
And as passenger numbers keep falling, more services may have to be cut.
There's been a large downturn in people travelling, and that has stepped up since the social distancing advice that came out a couple of days ago. So that is a challenge for the business because we haven't got that income.
We're now facing a very, very serious situation.
As services are cut back, staff are being redeployed. Customer host Joseph Fazekas has gone from serving food in first class to working the concourse at Piccadilly.
They don't like send us home without payment, they give us some job. Hello, Bill. Do you know what is going on now for next week?
So we're looking to put a amended timetable in from Sunday.
It will be changed like for a public holidays timing or?
To be massive changes.
Oh.
So I think they're looking to reduce the service so that there's less trains going to the airport and there's less trains coming around from Victoria to here.
And what about us, like a customer host onboard service? Because now it is suspended from the trains.
That'll stay the same, I think.
Yeah. We need to bring with us 2 kgs and we need to take off all stock from the train. It is 14:26 to airport.
Joseph has been asked to salvage any unused food and drink from the train.
Is it on time? No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes delay. Are you flying today? Yes. Where are you going to? Oh, back to China.
His fellow customer hosts are trying to remain positive.
You know, we've been working on trains for years doing trolley service. You know, we'll come back eventually. So it's just a temporary setback, I'd say, for the moment.
We need to go 1-2 minutes. Did you check the fridges?
If passenger numbers continue to fall, the government may have to step in to keep services running.
There's some tough messaging because we are, by no means even halfway through this, are we?
In the space of a week, our revenue is 75% down, yet we have a whole range of fixed costs that we still need to pay.
You would have seen in lots and lots of sectors people are going through the same challenge, so from small businesses to really large businesses, the revenue is not being generated at the moment.
We move 30 million people a year. We can't just shut up shop and stop.
Efforts are now focused on keeping going for the sake of key workers.
until we get into various states of lockdown. At the moment, the important thing, as we said before, key workers being able to move around using our services, so the business staying up and running is absolutely central.
It's testing everyone's kind of resilience, and we're just coming out of a difficult spot in the business and we've gone straight into a crisis. So understandably, there's a lot of panic. This is unprecedented times for us as individuals, us as a business, and everyone that works for us.
York is normally one of the North's busiest stations. Train dispatcher Jake is on duty for what used to be the evening rush.
Well, it's 10 to 6. Friday peak hours, one of the busiest platforms in the station, and we have not got a soul on platform 3. Not a soul. It's like a ghost town. Seeing it like this does make me think, with the current situation, should we still be studying? Probably not. Are you on platform 2?
Negative, I'm on platform 9 at the minute, heading on 5.
No worries, mate, I'll go down to 2 now. Midnight tonight, all the pubs shut. And from Monday, all the schools shut, so we're expecting even less passengers. I don't know, you can get less than 0.
Anyone in your household has a high temperature or a new and continuous cough, you should all stay
Creepy, innit? Next week, we'll be running a service literally just to get the key workers to work, as opposed to now, where we're running a normal service, and we're just running empty services 4 times an hour, really. I mean, I suppose it is kind of helping with the self-isolating.
We will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together. And therefore, I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives.
From now on, only a skeleton service will be running on the railway. At Manchester Airport, Group Station Manager Billy Vickers is still working.
So instead of having 16 trains an hour from the airport, we'll have 2 trains an hour. And the airport itself is all but closed down at the moment.
He's used to the station dealing with around 14,000 customers a day.
It's quite strange. I've been on the railway a long time, and I can remember the days of the 3-day week, 30 or 40 years ago. I've never known it as quiet as this, but this is a one-off experience in everybody's lifetime. No one's experienced this level of risk, threat and concern ever before.
Passenger numbers are down by 95%, and with that, the revenue the railways rely on. But at the last moment, the government has come up with a plan.
We are going to be covered under an emergency measures agreement, which means that the government will continue to fund railways, and it means we can continue to provide the vital role and keep people moving. If government hadn't have stepped in, we wouldn't have been able to continue operating.
Staff like conductor Nikki May are getting the support they need to keep services running.
Proud, very proud to work for Transpennine Express. They're trying to look after, frontline staff as best they can in a really difficult situation. They do need us. I think they do appreciate us. I think it's extraordinary now, really, isn't it, how the most important people in this country generally are the lowest paid. I'm wearing my badge proudly today, my undercover superhero.
Her train is taking key workers to Manchester this morning.
So let's just have a look down the train. There are some people through the train. They are key workers, there are staff as well, but just a quick look through the train. Here we go. It's extraordinary. We've got 2 passengers travelling, regular commuters, and 3 members of staff. So Would I expect it to be busier? Absolutely, I would expect it to be busier. Coming into Mossley, which, you know, I would expect it to have had 1 or 2 people get on, but no, empty. Station before that, empty. I think station before that, 1 person got off.
On the outskirts of Manchester, Anne Smith is also still on duty.
Since the start of April, we've been running a reduced key worker timetable, which is just over 30% of our booked timetable. It is a privilege at the minute to be able to come to work and be classed as a key worker. For me, it keeps a form of normality in my life. And I am proud. I am proud to be able to come to work and help keep the railway running, just so we can enable other key workers, more important key workers, to still get to and from work. It's a very strange situation that we're all in. The world has changed, and who knows what's going to happen in the future.
Carl Frayne had only just qualified as a conductor when the pandemic struck. Like many frontline workers, he's trying to protect his family during lockdown and keep doing his job.
Everything's a bit scary going out to work. Elbows. The main thing I'm missing is the interaction between me and the customer. The banter, the fun, the making the customer smile. There's also the added thing of, you know, we're coming into contact with other people all the time, and what the impact could be if we were to bring it on. But we all want to do the best that we can, and we're doing our bit for the country as a whole.
It's the biggest challenge TransPennine Express has ever faced.
These are just frightening times for each and every one of us, and we've just got to hope we can all get to the other side of this.
We're incredibly proud of the part that we're playing, certainly in this part of the world, to keep key workers moving. And we couldn't do that without our amazing people.
I'm quite scared, but I know that we've just got to keep going.
Here we are, we're in a world of social distancing. We've introduced green labels and red labels. That's so we can carry customers safely on these trains. Next 12 months, next 2 years are going to be very, very challenging for this industry, but we're up for that challenge.
At 70 miles long, it's the lifeblood of Liverpool, and no, I don't mean the queue to get Klopp's autograph. Brand new tomorrow at 8, we explore the River Mersey then and now. New after the break, Derbyshire's criminals are on the run and they intend to stay that way unless the traffic cops can round them up. Next.